So there it will all happen in the main theater, of course, not
in the big theater. Yeah, we're doing the preview. We're tuning it up and selecting. We've got digital and a print, film print. So at 9 o'clock tomorrow, we're going to
decide which one.
Yeah, screen both, and then decide.
You told me that the digital print.
The digital print
is going to be significantly different than what I saw in New York.
You mightn't be. It is to me, but.
Do you mean more shaded, a little more
darker?
A little darker.
Yeah.
So I was looking at something that was basically you shoot it for detail and options, but somebody just printed it or made it too lightly. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. While I was in Cancun, they made some corrections.
Okay.
And they were all wrong.
Okay.
So when I got back, and we corrected it again.
I've heard more stories about films that are, they're so carefully and meticulously assembled, and then the last link, the last step, someone just comes in and says, "Oh, I'll fix this," and they do something, and they completely, like the old story about Warren Beatty's gunshots and Bonnie and Clyde. Same thing. Someone just stepped in and decided to.
Well, a lot of people saw it like that. It wasn't.
It didn't hurt anything.
No, I don't know.
So it's going to be. So we're going to look at a slightly moodier thing, but you're going to make the call about whether the film or the digital.
Yeah, tomorrow when we.
Right. I knew it was digital. What I was seeing, by the way.
How did you know it was digital?
When I saw the Columbia lady, it was much more distinct. It just had that digital look, so I knew it had to be.
Yeah. Well. You can't get the blacks, heavy blacks, on digital, and you can't get the blooming whites. It's sort of an in-between. It just looks different.
I've often noticed, by the way, that digital blacks tend to look, I don't know what you're saying, you can't get them, but they always look inky. They don't look like whatever the natural black looks like.
Yeah.
Like they've been smudged on with some kind of ink or something.
Right. And that was, we were trying to overcome that by, we treated the highlights.
Right.
We tweaked them to try and produce a film look, but it didn't work. It just washed everything out.
I noticed when I was seeing a digital projection of The Perfect Storm, the George Clooney film. What was that, about 7-8 years ago?
Yeah.
That was kind of early in digital, and I thought, well, and the blacks looked very inky and fake, and it was awful.
Well, it's really about the projector.
Okay.
Sony have brought out a 4K projector.
Okay.
Which projects the image as you've graded it.
Right.
Most projectors are 2K, and most digital films you'll see.
Right.
I mean, films projected digitally are projected 2K, and they're converted by the projector from the 4K files.
Right.
But the Sony projector, and they haven't got a Sony down there. They've got another one, but I believe that it is a 4K. We'll find out in the morning. The Sony projector doesn't convert, and it's that conversion that messes everything up.
The consistent view by all the reviews so far, mine yet to be published, but mine as well, is that the expertise is quite evident. It's very, very Salt is very well put together. I mean, as well as this sort of thing has ever been put together, and it reminded me of a remark that Francis Coppola made when he was being flattered or praised for his cutting and shooting of the famous Ride of the Valkyrie sequence in Apocalypse Now, and he went, that's just a lot of hard work. That's that it is what it is. It's nothing special. What I really feel is are the emotional, intuitive, more delicate stuff. In other words, he didn't really respect the craft, but I respect that craft enormously because I associate and I believe that it's enormously hard work to make it look and play as well as Salt does. Do you concur? I mean, it's just good hard work. It's not something that takes genius, but it's just hard work, or what is it?
I don't know whether it takes genius.
Well, don't you have to be a musician to understand how this stuff plays? And you have to be like Brian Wilson. You have to hear the notes before they, all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it is like a composition. of making a movie. You know, there are so many different shades, and this kind of movie, made as a mainstream summer entertainment, has so many more shades that maybe are not immediately apparent. The rhythms of storytelling, the rhythms of the music, the rhythms of the sound, are completely different to a movie that is intended for a different arena. I mean, as a director, you're really a circus ringmaster, and the ringmaster really makes the circus work. When does the spotlight shine? When do you cue the clowns to fill in while the acrobat team are getting ready? When to cue the drum roll? That's what makes the performance, and that's what the director does, and that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, Sidney Pollack made a comparison about filmmaking is like recording music. Like if you took a vinyl record and put the needle on it and just moved it around manually, you would hear a sound that goes right. And if you play it at the proper speed, obviously it speeds up. You can hear the whole thing. And he said that filmmaking is very much like that. All you can hear are those little sounds as you're shooting one scene, and you have to be able to hear, as I just said, and you've just agreed, the symphony in your head as you're playing it. So, you're a old Sidney Pollack collaborator from way back.
Yeah.
He must have told you that or shared that thought.
He shared a lot of other thoughts, and I miss every one of them. Hearing them again, such a loss.
Yeah. Lovely film.
Such an attentive producer.
Yeah.
You know, I had the pleasure of working with him and Anthony on 2 films in a row, Quite American and then Catch a Fire.
Right.
And they were there holding my hand all the way.
Right.
From the script through the shoot, through the editing, and through the testing process.
Yeah.
Sidney came to every test screening, wherever it was on both films. Sat there, gave his 2 cents worth afterwards.
You know, I've watched you just shoot, and there's the slowness and the necessary exactitude of getting the lighting just right and getting all the elements together. But your exuberance is very clear. But you're always reined in by the heaviness of the big machinery that you're moving. But you keep your energy up. I can feel it from you. You know.
Well, again, it's the vehicle. The kind of enthusiasm you have for the scene in a film like Soul is going to be the kind of enthusiasm that works its way through the actors and all the technicians and ends up affecting the audience. I think you were at the scene where Angelina's character is led out of St. Bartholomew's Cathedral in New York City. Right. She's been arrested. Yeah. And Liev Shriver's character confronts her outside the church. Right. You know, it's a very energetic scene. In the end of a long build-up, and you're trying to catapult the audience into that scene and beyond. Right. So to create the rhythm that ends up on the screen, you've almost got to take your body as a director and pull everyone into the scene with you, because you know the camera's going to move if you've created a certain rhythm, and the actors are going to act in the way that you've set up motion around you. It's infectious, you know, and so then everyone starts. I mean, that's affecting people like that is as much what directing is about as anything else. Because if you create a wave and they catch it and ride it, you know, it rides itself all the way into the lens and up onto the screen, and then everyone in the theatre rides it too.
I was trying to think of the last time that I can recall a star of a film taking their shoes off before they knew some heavy stuff was about to happen. I was trying to think, when's the last time I saw a movie star say, okay, I'm going to be tested. It's time to take my shoes off. And I think the last time I saw that was Tom Laughlin and Billy Jack.